Hey everyone, Maya here, your award-winning mindset coach. So I'm guessing you've experienced this. You get inspired, you go hard for a few days, like really all in, maybe even for a week or two. You show up, you create, you sell, you do the mindset work. But then something happens. You lose steam, you stop, you disappear. And then you try to get yourself back on track. And the cycle starts again when you get that moment of inspiration. It's so frustrating, right? And it's not that you don't care. It's not that you're lazy. It's not even that you don't believe in yourself. It's that you're relying on motivation to do a job it was never meant to do. Motivation was never meant to build your business. It was meant to spark it. But most women I work with are stuck in this motivation loop where effort depends on emotion, where action and momentum depend on how good you happen to feel that day, on the news, on whether the sun is shining, on what your partner or kids are doing. It's a loop where visibility and selling and mindset work happen in bursts of inspiration rather than patterns. That stop-start energy is not just frustrating, but it's blocking your results. Because instead of building, you're constantly rebooting again and again. Most people don't realize they're in this cycle because when they're turned on, they're really on. When the motivation hits, it feels powerful. It feels true. It feels like this time it's going to stick. This time everything is going to change. And you might tell yourself in those moments, this is it. I'm back. I found my rhythm. This is the real me. Sounds empowered, but that's not rhythm. That's a high. It's a temporary state, not a structure. And the problem isn't that those moments aren't real. They are. It's just that they trick you into thinking they're sustainable. They're not. They give you a false sense of momentum, like you're on a roll, when really you're just on a spike. Because motivation is like caffeine. It spikes you, and then it drops you. So then when your energy dips, or life happens, or you just don't fucking feel like it, you don't have a system that keeps you steady and consistent. Instead, you have a hope that inspiration will come back later. But a brain that relies on motivation to drive action is a brain trained for inconsistency. It learns that starting and stopping is normal, and it gets good at stopping, which is why businesses that depend on emotional highs are businesses that keep stalling. They keep making some progress, but then they hit walls. They become an inconsistent business, creating inconsistent income. And you've probably seen this play out. So you get super motivated on a Sunday night. You decide that you're going to post every single day. So you batch 10 reels, you feel unstoppable. But then life happens, you lose steam, and then 2 weeks go by, 0 posts. Or you send 3 amazing emails in 1 week, and then nothing for a month. And this isn't your fault. Your brain is wired to seek the path of least resistance. So motivation feels good. Resistance isn't there. It gives you that dopamine rush. It feels like you're being productive. But again, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It's just like the UK summer sun or 3 mobile reception. You'll get this if you live in the UK. That's why the answer isn't more motivation. It's structure. Not the rigid kind that traps you, but the kind that keeps you consistent when your emotions don't. It's the safety net for the days you just don't feel like it. It's the anchor for your vision, especially when it's not paying off yet. Because if your business is built on your best days, it could collapse on your worst ones. So you need a structure for your mindset work. You need structure for your energy. You need structure for your visibility. You need structure for your sales and marketing. Not when you're motivated, but when you're not. This structure gives your brain a clear path, and it removes the need to make decisions every day. You simply follow the structure. It also builds trust, not just with your audience because you're showing up more consistently, but trust that you don't need to be in the mood to show up. Trust that your success doesn't depend on how inspired you feel today. Trust that you can keep going even when life is getting in the way. There's a study from UCL, University College London, that showed that it takes an average of 66 days for a new habit to form and to literally rewire your brain. And when you're consistent, when you follow your structure for 66 days, you are training your mind for a new identity, essentially. One where showing up is just who you are, where taking the action feels effortless. That's the real payoff of consistency and creating habits. It creates brain automation. So you don't need motivation anymore because the action becomes automatic. And it builds momentum, even when you don't feel like you're doing much. It also creates emotional safety. Your subconscious learns that whatever actions you need to take aren't a threat, that your vision you're working towards is familiar and safe. Massive breakthroughs, most often, don't come from moments of brilliance or inspiration. They come from boring repetition, from keeping a promise to yourself and to your future self again and again until it becomes who you are. Your brain learns that this is just what you do now. This is just who you are now. And this new identity is what creates and sustains your success. So how do you actually build that kind of structure? Start by choosing 2 small habits. One mindset habit, something that focuses and grounds you in your vision and in your future self-identity. And one strategic habit, something that moves your business forward externally. So, for example, this could look like, in mindset, it could be doing a visualization or listening to a hypnosis audio or to one of my state shifters for 10 minutes each morning. Strategy could be sending one value-focused DM a day, or posting one reel a day, or putting out one pitch a day, or showing up on stories 3 times a week. You want to make it simple and tied to your future self you are evolving into, and make it easy to follow. What you want to do is you want to put it in your calendar. Literally, put it in your calendar at a specific time. That's what a system is. That's what structure is. You want to build it into your daily life so that it becomes like brushing your teeth. Remove as many decisions as you can because decision fatigue kills consistency. You don't want to decide. You want to simply follow. So if it's in your calendar, you just follow. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be repeatable. That's what trains your brain to show up, no matter how you feel. And then when you're comfortable with that one habit, then you can stack another habit on top of that, and then another and another. Of course, you will be doing your other tasks as well. You can also put them in your calendar. Ideally, you can have them on your to-do list But as habits, you want to take it slowly, step by step. But remember, consistency isn't just a discipline or a structure thing. It's also an identity thing. Because when you show up every day, whether it's for 5 minutes or 50, you're not just checking a task off your list. You're actively becoming more of the woman you're evolving into. Every time you take action, especially when you don't feel like it, you are reinforcing the belief, this is just who I am now. And when you do that enough times, or for 66 days, according to research, something begins to shift, not just in your results, but in your brain. Your subconscious stops treating visibility, selling, mindset work as unfamiliar or unsafe, and it stops needing a motivational spike to get going. It simply becomes normal, like brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate with yourself about brushing your teeth, right? You don't wait for a wave of inspiration to do that. No, you just do it because it's just how you live. It's just how you are. Doing that small action every single day, that's what creates what we call compound consistency in your business. And this compound consistency bypasses the unreliable motivation center in your brain completely and rewires your system for action, momentum, and identity alignment with your future self. It's not always exciting like those moments of inspiration. It can actually get kind of boring. But those little habits, those small actions you repeat over and over, they might seem tiny, but they add up in ways that'll make all the difference to your results. All of it compounds, just like compound interest in your bank account. You barely notice it building until suddenly you check into that account and you're like, wow, I didn't realize I have so much money in there. The shifts in your business are usually invisible until they're not. And I've watched clients completely transform their entire business trajectory in a couple of months, not from suddenly making $1 million, but from showing up every fucking day, building and following a system and a structure that supported them on their worst days, not just their best ones. And around day 45, things start to change. Their confidence grows, their skills improve without them even noticing, their audience starts responding differently, people start noticing. It's not magic, it's momentum. And you can create it intentionally, on purpose. Just imagine a version of you who doesn't have to fight herself every day, who doesn't need to wait for the energy spike, who shows up because that's just who she is. Imagine how your business could look a year from now if your brain was automated for success habits and actions. That's not wishful thinking. That's what structure creates. That's what identity-driven, compound consistency delivers. So stop waiting for that motivation or inspiration. Decide who you are, build the structure, and keep the promise to your future self. And let the compound effect take care of the rest. I'd love to know in the comments, what is one mindset habit and/or one strategic habit that you are committing to for the next 66 days? I'd love to hear it, and it might just inspire someone else too. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more no fluff and actionable mindset. And remember, you can do anything. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.